Today for you, I have some videos of women who are responding to Asian women and or men who are passport bros. And then we have a very nice Filipino woman who's going to respond to them. So I think this would be great. Let's get into it.
The pretty is only here to soften the blow.
You call this pretty?
You're welcome.
Really? This is not. You look like an alien from another planet right now. This looks so fake. Like the hair looked fake, the face looked fake.
Earlier this morning, one of the passport bros and I got into a little bit of a heated exchange of
One of the passport bros and I got into a little heated exchange. He was like, I'm gonna go find me a woman in another country. And then I was like, okay, fine, bitch, go. Ugh.
words under a video that I commented on a few days ago. Let's talk about it.
So much sass.
Now, the video is one I'm sure y'all have seen already. That black guy from America complaining about how badly he's being treated in Brazil because he's not being well received, even though he wants to buy and exploit their women and children, because a lot of the women that you think you're actually messing with are young girls.
I haven't seen this video, but again, I'll just make this point another time, which everybody should understand. Just because somebody is doing something and we're calling them a passport bro, there's hundreds of thousands of people or however many people that are umbrellaed under this term. There's always going to be a group of them that suck, that are shitty. That's just how everything is. That's why when you put a label on something, of course, you're going to find shitty people in it. There's shitty people who were Trump supporters. There's shitty people who are Biden supporters. There's shitty people who were in the trucker protest. There's shitty people who are social justice warriors or whatever label you're gonna put. Like, there's shitty people in every group, and they're going to give that group a bad name. That's why I generally don't like labeling things. Like, I don't want to be part of nobody's label because I am myself and I do my own things, and I don't want any of your shit coming in on me.
Or you know that you're messing with a young girl, and that's what you went there for. Either way, we're going to talk about it. So this passport bro or wannabe passport bro got in the comments under that video because I said something, and honestly, I don't remember what I said, child, but he made a point to say this. Prostitution is legal in Brazil, so it's not like he did anything wrong. That's what this fool said to me.
That's a stupid comment to make. If he actually said that, she hasn't shown any evidence, but if he actually said that, that's real dumb. I don't know why he would, I don't know why he would say that. That's just dumb. Like, prostitution's legal in a lot of places. It's legal in Australia. What, is he just going there to have sex then? Like, it sounds like he's going for the wrong reasons. I will give her that if that's what he's saying.
So y'all know I stay on time every time for every fight and every occasion. So I had to respond because I just don't know how not to.
She stays on time for a fight, like she wants to argue and fight. Girl, you are only telling these men, yeah, please leave because what you just said. And maybe you're working on it. Nobody wants to be dealing with somebody who's argumentative and wants to fight back. I don't know why this is a thing. Why is it a thing? Why did this start? Why did it start? Because women didn't used to be this way, right? Like 100 years ago, it wasn't like, at least that I'm aware of, I wasn't alive 100 years ago, but it used to be more traditional times, and it wasn't like they were going to like fight you. And then it's just what? The 60s came and the freedom flower movement shit, and then they're all like, you know what? We're going to argue with you and yell and scream and stuff. And it's just like, but why? It's okay to argue about things that are important. That's normal. That makes sense. Like, sometimes you're going to have an argument. That's fine. But why do we argue over this stupid shit? And I'm not just saying women. I'm also talking to the guys here because we can also do this. Why do we argue over stupid shit? It just hurts our own relationships. We all need to just like take a step back, be mindful, and be like, what am I really arguing about, or what am I reacting to? Do I need to do this really? Is it really important? And I think 90% of the time we'll say no, it's not. And that's probably where we should be at. But let's get back to her argumentative nature here.
I'm working on it though.
That's good.
So what I said to this fool was, y'all are black men from America, literally the descendants of slaves, and are going to other countries to buy people.
What do you mean going to buy people? Again, do you not think that these women are capable of like understanding things themselves? Like they're actually that freaking stupid that they're like, yes, money, great, I'm coming. They make their own choices. These women choose to make a choice, just like the men are choosing to make a choice by going there and doing whatever, right? Everyone makes their own choices. It's not like they don't have a choice. When you were a slave, you literally got grabbed, usually by fellow Africans, right? They picked you up from like a neighboring tribe. They took you. They sold you to the Spanish, the French, the English, the Arabian countries, Brazilian, whoever it was, the United States, wherever. They sold you to some group, and then they shipped you to another country against your will. You did not have a choice. You were just walking in the jungle or whatever you were doing, or in your house or hut or whatever they have, and somebody just came and nabbed you and then put you in shackles and shipped you on a boat, which you probably most likely died from. I think the death rate shipping across like the ocean was pretty high. And then if you did make it through that, you were like sold. And then again, you were chained and shackled. So you're suggesting that these women in other countries, because they don't have a lot of money, it's like they're shackled and chained, that they have no choice. I feel like this also conflicts with the argument of sex positivity movement, that they're like, you know what, if you want to sell your body, yay, women, we love that. You sell your body, it's fine. Do you know this is like a positive thing? There's a sex positivity movement, which is related to feminism, and somehow, maybe she's not a feminist, I don't know. How do you reconcile then this? Don't they also have the freedom, if to choose if they want to do that? It's their body, they can choose. I mean, they have their own autonomy.
And don't see nothing wrong with that. Owning humans was legal here too. So it's very odd that you'd be comfortable doing the same to somebody else in a different country. Especially when we know that about 12 million of the people that were stolen from the continent of Africa were dropped off in Brazil.
Yeah, I think Brazil was one of the last places, if not the last place, to stop buying slaves and having slavery. I think they even had slavery in the 1900s, I want to say. I can't remember. I'll find the date. I'll post it up on the screen. But they like did a lot of slaves, man. And like, what did she say? 12 million? I think that's accurate. Like they had more than United States, at least if I remember correctly. Like they were crazy.
Those are literally your people. And you want to exploit them for your adult needs. He found issue with this.
Are we surprised he would find issue with this? Because you literally said he was buying slaves. So, yeah, that seems like he would have issue with it. I think anybody would.
He then proceeded to tell me, when did I say that? And this is the thing about men that I just don't like in general.
They use logic, yeah. I know women don't like the logic. I don't know what it is. They just like to go on this emotional tirade or something.
And mind you, I'm a miserable straight person, so, fuck my life.
Did she just say she's a miserable straight person? Guys, why don't you want to date this miserable woman? She's miserable. She's openly admitting she is miserable. Get on those DMs now. You got to date this woman. Prime dating material. She's just miserable, unhappy with her life, has a whole bunch of shit she needs to work on, but you need to get in there. You need to get in there.
But it bothers me so much that men like to dance around the point, and half of y'all can't dance. Like, you didn't use those words, but that's exactly what you are suggesting.
You didn't use those words, but that's what you're suggesting. So now, over a text messages or whatever, he responded in text. You have read into his comment. And you openly just admitted it because you say that's what you're suggesting. But you don't know because you didn't ask him. You didn't say, are you suggesting this? And then I guess he kind of said, where did you get that from? So that would mean he wasn't suggesting that. So then right away you should be like, oh, you should have asked him, what are you saying? What are you trying to suggest here? And you could have had a dialogue and you might have actually understood what was going on with him. But instead, you decided to make this video and say this. Yeah.
By trying to condone this man's actions by saying that it's legal to do so, you are comfortable with legal human trafficking.
How is this human trafficking? How is this human trafficking?
And exploitation of minors and women.
What is the jump you are making? I don't get how you went from this guy saying prostitution is legal, which actually is a dumb comment, but prostitution is legal. Just because prostitution is legal doesn't mean it's a bunch of like baby girls that he's having sex with. He could be having sex with normal women in legal prostitution. If it's legal, he can go ahead and do it. I don't think it's a great idea, but he can go ahead and do it. Apparently it's legal. What does that have to do with all this sex trafficking and stuff? Just because some people are sex trafficked and whatever, but we let people make decisions. We have legal marijuana. I mean, we have legal alcohol. Hello? We let people make the decision even though it's potentially bad for them. Cigarettes. Like,
the fact that these guys have left America because their paychecks are no longer good enough to exploit American women and now want to go exploit women in what they consider to be impoverished communities around the world, only to find issue with people for calling them out, is really problematic. Because remember, women in America have too much of a high body count. We're having too much adult activity for y'all liking with y'all.
this is generally, yeah, guys want somebody who has a lower body count. This is true. Okay? What does it have to do? He's with a prostitute or an escort or something. He's not marrying that person. I don't get it. Men will sleep with women who have high body counts, but they generally don't want to marry them. It's a generalization. There's always exceptions.
So literally you're admitting that being with y'all in that way makes us less valuable. At the same time wanting women to be with you in that way.
Yeah, men want to get sex. I know. They do want to get sex. But then they don't want to have a woman who has a bunch of body count. That's true. Yes. I know. Sometimes we also contradict ourselves in a way. Yes. But women are the arbiters of keeping that, right? You can say no. Say no, we're not going to have sex until we're in a committed relationship or I'm getting married or whatever. And if a guy meets a girl who's like a virgin, who's only slept with one guy or something, I mean, they're going to put a higher price on that. I think so. I've never actually met a virgin, so I don't know.
And then the fans only people, right? Y'all find issue with them because how dare they insist on getting money for that type of activity? Y'all didn't like the adult workers in America, because those women didn't have PIMPs anymore and were out here doing it on their own without some man benefiting from it, without them actually participating or doing anything to earn the money.
Yeah, I don't know about that because it's like OnlyFans and the webcamming and the porn industry make so much money. Uh, I don't think so. I think men, although not, like I said, going to marry those people, there is a lot of money or a lot of money being made. So I think guys are partaking. Just look at OnlyFans, $5 billion paid out last year to content creators. Who's supporting that? Almost 70% men. And they're mostly married too, actually, which is the crazy part. 90%.
And y'all didn't like that either. So you don't like American adult workers. You don't like the girls on Fans Only. But for some reason, you're very comfortable going to another country and paying them? At the end of the day, gentlemen, the fact that you would desire to be with a woman that has no other resources for herself other than her body in order to support herself or maybe even her family, instead of a woman that is consenting with you, wants to be in that type of relationship or activity with you, and is doing so of her own free will, not because she is forced into circumstances that are beyond her control, is very telling. Because it suggests to the rest of the world that you are that toxic and disgusting as a human being, that the only type of woman that would lay down with you is a woman that did not have a choice.
You can get prostitutes and escorts in North America. There's websites you can go to, and you can just do that. So, this whole rant about going to another country and getting prostitutes there doesn't make sense. Because people can get prostitutes and escorts here, even though it's illegal. So, what is the point of this whole video? I feel like you could have just thought of that and been like, well, people get escorts here, so he just wants to go to Brazil and get a different type. Fine. I mean, whatever. It's the same shit. It's just people. It's just people. There will always be women who are willing to do this.
Fine. Now I'm the bad guy.
9 times out of 10, you are not getting these men in their prime. And the reason why this garbage started in the first place is because these passport bros went around and said, oh, look at this other group of women. They're so much better than you. And that will naturally put anyone on the defense. 15 years ago, when my grandma was about 75, she was talking about how some guy at the senior center proposed to her. But he didn't have enough money, so she turned him down. If my grandmother can get a man, then why do you feel so high and mighty that you can get one too? If these men treat women from their own tribe like garbage, what makes you think that you will fare any better? They're pitting women against each other, and if you were as smart as you claim to be, you would see it and not fuel it.
What does she mean by the men aren't in their prime? Because men and women have different primes, right? Like women are in their prime, like in their 20s or 18 to end of their 20s, so like 30, that's like their prime, I guess. Probably like 24, 25 is like the dead center. And men enter their prime sort of like 35, 40, 45. For what it's just at that point we're making more money, we're more mature, we generally the look that a man has in those ages, women seem to like more. We have more skills and useful talents and things. So I would say, like, does she think passport bros or these people going over there are like she thinks they're like in their 60s or something? Because I mean, there are some of those, but I don't think that's most of them. I think mostly it's people like 30s and 40s. She's right about women getting defensive. I would imagine that would happen. Women would get defensive if that's what they were saying. Like, hey, this other woman is better than you. Nobody likes to hear something like that. So that's totally understandable. It's not great, but it's like it's understandable, at least in my mind. Regarding your mom, your grandma rather, getting proposed to in a senior center, I'm like, okay. What does that have to do with anything? Like there's a lot of people who can't find a partner. And we know this because there's tons of women, at least in North America, who make videos about it. They're in their mid late 30s, they're in their 40s, and they're like, I can't find a man who wants to marry me and settle down, etc., etc., etc. And there could be like a bunch of reasons for that, right? It could be their standards, could be that they already have kids, it could be that they don't want to have kids and the man wants to have kids, right? So obviously, you know, at a certain point, you're too old. Um, could be a financial thing. There could be lots of reasons. Just let people be happy in their own happiness. If they find a man or they find a woman for them, then just let them be happy. I don't know, like people are way too salty about this stuff for no reason. You talk about how men apparently treat women like garbage in North America, in the United States, Canada, or wherever they're from. Like you're just generalizing everybody. And it's true. I think everybody is guilty of the same thing, generalization. Not all women are the same, not all men are the same. They're different. And you can find good women here in North America, you can find good men here in North America. It's true. It's just there's a lot of difficulties around it, and there's a lot of crappy people that are in the way sometimes. And I think people just get defeated with that and they decide, you know what, there's an opportunity for me over here, and they want to try something different. And that's okay. I think whenever you look at relationships just in general, whether it's here in North America, or if it's in the Philippines, or it's in Germany, or wherever you happen to live, if you're in Kenya or something, there are doesn't matter where the person comes from. There can be garbage people all around that go with bad intentions and do stupid things. Everybody, man and woman included, need to properly vet out the other person to make sure that they're actually the right person for them, that they are a good person. And that's why we date. That's why we get to know somebody. That's why we have these rituals that we go through. We don't just get married right away. It's because you want to figure out who the person is. And it doesn't always work. And sometimes people are really good liars and they take you for, they're really good actors. They take you for a ride and you get married and you get divorced and they take half your shit. Like, it can happen. That's not a normal thing. But there are people like that. You have to trust that the people in the Philippines, the women in the Philippines, are capable of vetting out these men. Do you think like they're so stupid, like they've never dealt with a man before? They have men in their own country. They have sleazy men in their own country. They have good men in their own country. They have all the same types of men that we have here in North America. I don't know why people seem to think that they are just like little babies over there and they don't know how to take care of themselves. So you got to pretend like you're trying to help them, but in reality, are you? Are you? You're just kind of upset, like upset about your situation that they're saying this and then pretending like you care about them. It actually really reminds me about this whole thing, and I'm gonna bring this to race, even though that's not always a great idea, but at least in the States, they talk about this voter suppression and stuff. And they'll say that requiring somebody to have ID to vote is voter suppression against black people. Now, here in Canada, everyone's required to have an ID to vote. You cannot vote if you don't have ID. It's the same everywhere in the country. There's no like different provinces or states that have different rules. So you all play by the same rules. You can use a passport. You can use basically something that's like a photo ID. But in the States, there's this whole thing that you're suppressing the black vote and black people by potentially requiring them to do that in certain states or certain areas. And somebody made a video, I forget who it was. He's like a comedian guy. He went around asking people about, hey, do you think, he went around asking black people, do you know how to get a driver's license? Do you know where to go? Where's the DMV? Blah, 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 all this thing. And they were like, yeah, like, of course, it's like it's on 34th Street and whatever. And like every black person he asked all knew how to get driver's license and didn't know anybody who didn't have driver's licenses. They were like, all my black friends or family members have driver's licenses or some kind of ID, unless they're kids, right? They were surprised to hear that the reason he was asking is because white people or other people were like, well, they can't, they don't know how to get it. They don't have access to internet because they're in low income, whatever, and they don't have phones. They don't know how to like navigate on the internet. They don't use Google. Like literally, white people were saying this, and at universities. So these were like university kids, students, but they're like kids, and I was just like, holy smokes, this is like that. It's just the bigotry of low expectations. You're just thinking like this person, oh, they're not smart, like they can't handle it themselves. Just like these black people don't know how to get driver's licenses, so we shouldn't be asking, black people or Latinos or whoever to have driver's licenses because, they don't even know how to go to the DMV. Like, it's the same thing here with the Filipina. Well, all these black men or white men or passport bros, whatever race, are going to go over there and going to take advantage of them because they're stupid. Like they don't know how to deal with these men, and we gotta like save them because we're we're Americans and we're so smart, or we're Canadians or Europeans or whatever we are, and we're going to save them from these shitty men that are going to come and abuse them. They deal with that stuff over there too. Stop it. You are literally so insulting. So insulting.
Hi, good morning. So I woke up with all these videos of women attacking the passport bros. Oh, wait, let me just take a sip of the coffee that my passport boyfriend made me. It's good. As I was saying, when you really don't care why they had to fly abroad to find a wife, a girlfriend, then why are you making all of these hate videos? If you don't care at all, why are you reacting that way? You girls making these content, saying all these nasty words against the women who were brought by the Western guy to their countries is just an example why they don't want you. It's so funny that you call us nanny, vulnerable, doormat, stuff like that, when we are actually not. Most of us are independent and smart. But being independent doesn't necessarily mean that you won't need a boyfriend, that you won't need a partner. Isn't it so nice that even if you're independent, you have someone that does things for you, makes life easier, makes life happier, right? The thing is, you're not just attacking the man, but also us when we didn't do anything. It's not our fault that they chose us over you. Why don't you try to be nicer? Try to care. Try to be considerate. No, we are not doormats or nanny. Yeah, we cook. We do the cleaning. Is that even a big deal? I love cooking for him. I love cleaning up the house for him. And he loves paying for my bills. So it's like the same. It's not being a nanny or being submissive, but it's equal. As much as I care for my partner, he cares for me the same, or maybe even more. My partner does the laundry, does the dishes, and I do the cooking, and then I do the folding. It's like 50-50. We are no better than you, I can say that, but you just got an attitude. We didn't get a degree to become a slave for white men or black men. This is just how we are raised. It is our culture to take care of a man. If it doesn't apply to you, we can't do anything about it. But attacking these men and us will never be pleasant. Just so you know, the more you hate us, the more you say nasty thing about us, it makes them more interested on getting one of us.
Yep. I mean, she just ended, she just mic dropped it. It's really by making those videos that these women make and then posting that and looking a certain way, like the last two we just looked at. So it's all backfiring on them. Although I would say there's a lot of women who are supportive of it, who are North American. You see them come out and say, you know what, actually, if you want to go, it's fine. Go ahead. You should go and be happy if you can't find something. So it's not all of them, and there are good women here, just like there are good men, etc. So Hey, if you want to go to the passport bro thing, go ahead, do the passport bro thing. If you don't want to, don't do it. It's fine. Everybody's going to do different stuff. I mean, we all have different religions, different preferences in food, vote for different people, you know, drive different vehicles, have different jobs, live in different areas. Like, we're different in so many ways. It's like, why all of a sudden can we not be different? And who we marry, if we marry somebody outside of our country or somebody within. Well, I'll leave it there. Okay. Thanks, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you.